The alarms were not loud, but they were persistent, a soft, pulsing chime that meant a hull breach was imminent. On the bridge of the human freighter Mercy's Load, the captain worked with a grim focus, her fingers dancing over cracked control panels. Her name was Alara, and her ship was dying around her. "Seal Corridor 7, she ordered, her voice hoarse from recycled air. "Redirect all power from life support in sections 3 and 4 to the structural integrity field." Her first officer, a man named Kalen, shook his head. "That's our air, Captain." "And that," Alara said, pointing to the main viewer where the glittering, predatory shape of a galactic Concorde pursuit vessel hung, "is a plasma lance charging. They'd rather see us as atoms than let this cargo get through." "Do it." The Mercy's Load was a blocky, utilitarian vessel, a testament to human stubbornness. It was also currently a smuggler's ship. In its shielded hold lay not weapons or narcotics, but something the Concorde considered far more dangerous: cultural and historical data cores from a dozen species deemed assimilated, their unique identities erased for the sake of galactic harmony. Alara's family had run this quiet, ideological operation for 3 generations. They were librarians fighting an empire with frayed wire and stubborn hope. The Concorde ship fired. The Mercy's Load shuddered, a scream of tearing metal echoing through its bones. Lights flickered and died. Alara was thrown from her chair, her head striking the navigation console. The world dissolved into static and pain. She woke to the sterile, cold light of her own med bay. The ship was silent, the only sound the labored whir of a single backup generator. Kalen was gone, the bridge lost to vacuum. She was alone. With a concussion pounding behind her eyes, she stumbled through the carcass of her ship. The Concorde had boarded, found the cargo, and left her for dead. Their work was clean, efficient, and utterly complete. Every data core was gone. A century of secret preservation wiped out in minutes. Despair was a cold stone in her gut. She reached the one place that might still function, the old Comes array in the engineering crawl space, a piece of tech so ancient and jury-rigged it sometimes escaped modern scans. With numb fingers, she powered it up. It could only send a simple, wide-band distress pulse on an emergency frequency. No message, just a beacon of last resort. She activated it, a final whispered plea into the void. Then, with the last of her strength, she sealed herself in the small chamber, waiting for oxygen to run out or rescue to come, whichever arrived first. The ship that answered was not Concorde. It was a scarred, angular thing, a mismatched collection of parts that looked perpetually on the verge of flying apart. It docked with a clang that reverberated through the silent Mercy's Load. Alara, her hand on a charged welder, watched the inner airlock door cycle. The being that entered was tall, willowy, with skin the color of moss and large, luminous eyes that dominated its hairless head. It wore a patched environment suit. It was a Xylan, a species fully assimilated into the Concorde over a century ago. Their individuality was supposed to be extinguished, their creativity channeled only into Concorde-approved patterns. The alien saw her, and its long fingers fluttered in a complex, anxious gesture. "You are the source of the distress signal." Its voice was soft, melodic, translated by a worn device on its suit. "Yes," Alara rasped, not lowering her tool. "Who are you?" "I am a passenger. This vessel is autonomous." The Xylan's eyes darted around, taking in the human aesthetic, the exposed wiring, the personal photos bolted to a wall. Its gaze lingered on a picture of Alara's grandparents. "You are damaged. The Concorde was here. They took everything." The words tasted like ashdot. The Xylan stepped closer, its movements oddly hesitant. "They take everything. Always. They took our songs. They took the way we painted light on water. They took the stories we told our young about the shapes in the stars. It reached out not toward her, but toward a simple hand-knitted blanket on a nearby cot, a human artifact. It touched the fabric with a reverence that made Ilara's breath catch. "You are a rebel," she stated. "I am." "Incomplete," the Xylan corrected, its large eyes meeting hers. There was a desperate hunger in that look. The Concord provides peace, order, efficiency. But it is a silent peace. A gray order. I have listened to Forbidden's transmissions. I heard a human sing once. It was a jagged sound. A beautiful, painful noise. It had weather inside it. The alien's ship, its eye coldly efficient, announced it had stripped the Mercy's load of usable fuel and components. Their departure was imminent. "Come with me," the Xylan said suddenly, its melodic voice urgent. Ilara blinked. "What? To where?" "You're a fugitive." "I'm a smuggler with a dead ship." "Exactly." The Xylan gestured around. "This place is a tomb. Your people are scattered." "My people are?" "Silenced. But together, I have studied your history. Your species thrives on contradiction. You build and destroy with the same hands. You feel joy and sorrow at once. This conflict, this noise, I believe it is the antidote to the silence." Ilara shook her head, the movement causing stars to dance in her vision. "I can't. My fight was here." "It's over." The Xylan fell still. Then it did something extraordinary. It began to hum. The sound was unlike anything Ilara had heard, a resonant, vibrating tone that seemed to fill the small space without volume. Then it shifted, trying to mimic the erratic, emotional cadence of a human tune it had only ever heard through static. The effect was haunting, a perfect, alien voice trying to break its own perfection, to grasp something raw. The humming stopped. The Xylan reached out, this time towards her, but stopped short of contact. Its large eyes were pools of sheer, unvarnished need. "Do not leave me," it pleaded, its translated whisper cracking. "Please assist. I will make you happy forever." The phrase was stilted, parsed from outdated data files, a child's interpretation of a complex promise. But the meaning behind it was devastatingly clear. This was not a being offering her a service. It was a soul starved for meaning, begging for a teacher, for a companion in chaos. It was offering her its forever, in exchange for the messy, painful, glorious noise of being human. Elar all looked at the photo of her grandparents. Their fight was to preserve what was lost. This being was offering her a chance to create something new, to not just preserve culture, but to live it, to teach it, to weaponize it. The welder clattered to the floor. "You don't make someone happy forever," she said softly, her voice firming. You walk with them. You share the load. You laugh and you cry and you fight. It's not always happy." The Xylan tilted its head, absorbing the words. "That sounds real." "It is," Ilara said. She took a breath, picking up a small carved wooden bird from the debris, the last artifact from her ship. "What do I call you?" The Xylan's fingers fluttered again, a name gesture from a language banned by the Concord. "It means seeker of unquiet skies." Ilara smiled, a tired, genuine thing. "That's a mouthful. I'll call you Silas for now. We'll work on the rest." Together, they walked towards the waiting patchwork ship. As the airlock closed behind them, sealing off the tomb of the Mercy's load, Silas spoke again, looking at the wooden bird in her hand with wonder. "Your ship is gone. Your cargo is lost. What will we do?" Ilara looked at her new companion, at the desperate hope in its luminous eyes. She thought of songs sung out of tune, of stories with sad endings, of art that made no sense, of all the beautiful, inefficient, emotional noise that defined her species. She thought of sharing it. She placed the wooden bird on the console of the rebel ship. "We're going to make some noise, Silas," she said. "So much noise they'll never be able to silence it all."